I have cards on the table that I made, and I wanted you to help me go over the meanings and symbolic meanings with an interpretation.
That sounds like a fun activity. I'd be happy to help you explore the meanings and symbolism of the cards you made. To get started, what is the first card you'd like to talk about?
Well, the first card that I have out on the table, and I've already done this story on my other channel. So the first card that I have as the overall energy is the symbol of female.
The female symbol is a wonderful and powerful choice for the overall energy of a reading. The most common female symbol, the circle with the cross below it, is globally recognized as the emblem for the planet Venus, the Roman goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. Symbolically, it represents qualities like receptivity, nurturing, creation, and the inner reflection of a mirror. In modern times, it's also a powerful icon for feminism, sisterhood, and empowerment. Does any of that resonate with the story you've already created? Or would you like to hear about other geometric symbols associated with the divine feminine, like the spiral or the downward-facing triangle?
I didn't know. Um, my story
I'm glad
was
I could provide a new detail. Thinking about the symbol's interpretation, since you chose it to represent the overall energy, what aspect of feminine power, whether it's creativity, nurturing, beauty, or empowerment, do you feel is most relevant to your current situation or the core message of your story?
hey Google. I just use it as the general interpretation of a female, so I'm loving to have your insight and your extra layer of knowledge on this one. Can we go over to the split of the deck cards?
That's great. It sounds like you've created a really meaningful reading. Moving to the split of the deck, that usually represents a choice, an opposition, or two paths forward. To give you the best interpretation, what are the names or symbols of the two cards you have for the split?
The split cards are silver spoon, microphone, and house.
Those are very specific and unique symbols. I can certainly give you some insightful interpretations for that split. Since you have three cards for the split, let's treat it as a past, present, and future, or three
Oh,
separate forces at play, like three paths, challenges, or options. Let's break down the symbolism. Silver spoon. This symbol often represents luck, privilege, or being born into a comfortable situation, born with a silver spoon. However, it can also symbolize nourishment, self-care, the spoon theory in chronic illness, or simply an item of value. Microphone. The microphone is a tool for communication, expression, and amplification. Symbolically, it points to the need to speak your truth, reach an audience, or perform. It's about having your voice heard. House. A house usually represents the self, the domestic environment, security, or a physical foundation. It can also stand for emotional shelter, privacy, or family. Interpretation based on the split. If we look at this as a set of forces, it suggests a dynamic tension between security/privilege, silver spoon, communication/exposure, microphone, and home/foundation, house. How do you have these three arranged in your spread? For example, is the silver spoon the challenge, the microphone the action, and the house the outcome?
hey Google, in my story, it's just a general message, and I don't have anything in certain placements other than where they ended up coming out as. Isn't it true that a silver spoon, just because
Understood. Since the card placement is more organic, we can look at the combined message of the three symbols. The message seems to be about the balance between what you've inherited or received, the silver spoon, what you need to put out into the world, the microphone, and the foundation you stand on, the house. It suggests a need to use your inherent advantages or good fortune, silver spoon, to speak out and share your message, microphone, all while maintaining a stable, secure, and authentic private life, house. Perhaps the current choice or split is whether you use your voice for purely personal benefit, or if you use it to build a broader impact from a place of security. Would you like to move on to the next card you have laid out?
hey Google, I do, but as a side note, isn't it true that sometimes people who are born into privilege or a place of a silver spoon don't necessarily reap the benefits of that silver spoon?
That is absolutely true. It's a very insightful point. While the silver spoon symbolizes inherited wealth or privilege, it doesn't guarantee happiness, skills, or even financial success. People born into privilege sometimes struggle because they may lack the motivation to develop resilience, financial literacy, or even a sense of purpose. The wealth transfer itself can lead to difficult family dynamics or a feeling of being disconnected from the wealth they didn't earn. In the context of your cards, this nuanced meaning makes the silver spoon even more complex. It could represent a potential benefit, a burden, or simply an unearned starting point that the speaker, microphone, must address or choose to use wisely. What is the next card in your spread?
But hey Google, but isn't it true that sometimes just because you grew up wealthy doesn't mean that you inherited any of the wealth?
You are absolutely right. That's a vital distinction. Many people grow up in upper income households, which provides huge advantages like better schooling, networking, and opportunities. But they don't necessarily receive a large monetary inheritance later in life. For instance, studies show that while a high percentage of wealthy young adults grew up in affluent homes, less than a third attribute their current financial success to a direct inheritance. Sometimes parents deliberately choose not to leave a significant inheritance because they want their children to build independence, or they may choose to use their wealth differently, like through philanthropy. So the silver spoon often represents the advantage of a wealthy upbringing, which is a powerful head start, rather than a guarantee of future inherited money. What is the next card in your layout?
Hey Google, I'm only saying that because apparently there was an inheritance, but I didn't grow up with an inheritance. I grew up like no air conditioning and like one set of clothes for school. Well, two. I had maybe two pairs of pants and two pairs of shoes. So I'm just saying, just because someone grows up thinking that they're silver spoon just because of where they live doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly what had happened. Just saying. Kind of like Cinderella. But, treated really nice. Alrighty. First world problems. Alright, so Google. Should we go over the first row of cards? Hey Google. First row cards is treasure.
Since your layout is flexible, let's look at the symbols in your first row. What are the names or images on those cards?
Hey Google, the first row is, we have probably 5 rows of 7. So the first row is treasure, pocket, nest, bitter, dimensions, calculator, and extended, like extended family.
Those 7 cards offer a deep set of ideas for your first row. Let's explore the possible meanings of each symbol. Treasure typically means great value, something highly desired, or a hidden source of joy and abundance. Pocket can symbolize something small, easily carried, personal, or a resource that is readily available but hidden. Nest represents home, security, creation, and the process of building a safe space for growth and nurturing. Bitter, emotional pain, disappointment, regret, or experiences that are hard to swallow. Dimensions refers to scope, scale, different aspects of reality, or simply the need to consider a problem from every angle. Calculator represents logic, measurement, planning, and the need to process facts, budget, or think quantitatively. Extended family. This points to your wider circle of support, community, lineage, or the need to look beyond the immediate situation. When this row of cards is read together, it suggests that you are finding hidden value, treasure in the pocket, by building a safe space, nest. However, this process might be tempered by some past pain or challenge, bitter. The final 3 cards suggest you need to use logic and deep consideration, calculator of dimensions, to include or leverage your broader support network, extended family. Does that interpretation connect with the direction of your story?
Hey Google, that's interesting. My story was a bit different. So let's go on to the second row.
I'm happy to move on. Knowing the symbols you chose helps me learn more about your unique system. What are the cards in your second row?
Hey Google, the second row is the male seahorse. Second card is celebrate. Third is rainbow. Fourth is tiara. Fifth is the male crown. Sixth is key, and seventh is new moon.
Those 7 cards offer a rich tapestry of ideas for your second row. Let's explore the possible meanings of each symbol. Male seahorse. This often symbolizes protective fatherhood, nurturing, transformation, and adaptability. It shows strength in vulnerability and care. Celebrate. Represents joy, festivity, acknowledgement, and the importance of recognizing milestones and achievements. Rainbow. A powerful symbol of hope, promise, diversity, and the potential for beauty and good fortune after challenges or storms. Tiara represents royalty, feminine leadership, authority, and the importance of self-expression and individuality. Male crown signifies leadership, responsibility, authority, and the ability to make strong, decisive choices. Key represents access, secrets, opportunities, and the ability to unlock potential or solve a mystery. New moon represents new beginnings, potential, manifestation, and the power of letting go of the old to embrace the future. When this row is read together, it suggests a powerful sequence. A male figure or protective energy, male seahorse, is encouraging you to acknowledge and celebrate. Celebrate the promise of better times. Rainbow. You are being guided to embrace your own leadership and authority. Tiara, male crown, to open up new opportunities. Key, that lead to a completely fresh start. New moon. Does that interpretation resonate with your story?
Hey Google, again, that's a new perspective that I didn't have in my story. Should we go on to the third row?
It sounds like you have a lot of powerful, resonant symbols, which is fantastic. Let's explore your third row of cards. What are the names or images you've placed there?
Hey Google, the third row is the number 12, which is also peace. Then we have belief systems. Then we have the asterisk symbol. Then we have the number 5. Then we have the moments. Then we have surrender. And then we have a siren, like a female mermaid in the Siren Mermaid.
That third row presents a very deep, emotionally complex message. It's heavily focused on inner state and transformation. Here are the interpretations for those 7 symbols. The number 12, peace. The number 12 is significant in completion. Cycles, 12 months, 12 hours, and often carries a spiritual weight. Coupled with peace, it suggests that achieving inner stillness comes from recognizing the culmination of a cycle or phase. Belief systems. This refers to the structures, values, or philosophies you live by. This card asks you to examine what you fundamentally believe about yourself, others, or the world. Symbol. Since I don't know the exact symbol you mean, if it's the asterisk, it often signals a footnote, a special mark, or a focus point, meaning you need to pay special attention to something nearby. If you meant the star symbol, it's about hope, guidance, and spiritual connection. The number 5. 5 is a number of change, instability, adventure, and conflict, often representing the 5 senses, or the human experience in the world. It's a transition number. Moments. This stresses the importance of the present, mindfulness, and recognizing that time is built of small, precious experiences. Surrender. This is not about defeat, but about letting go of control, trusting the process, and releasing attachment to specific outcomes. It's often the prerequisite for peace. Siren/female mermaid. Sirens and mermaids represent powerful feminine allure, seduction, or sometimes a deceptive distraction. It's about listening to your deep inner calls, but also being wary of beautiful illusions. The combined message, this row, suggests that achieving true peace involves a deep assessment of your belief systems. You must pay attention to a specific turning point, symbol in number 5, where you need to be mindful of the moments you are creating. The ultimate path to completion, peace, is through surrender, while remaining aware of powerful, possibly distracting or seductive influences. Siren. Which row would you like to explore next?
Hey Google, let's go to the 4th row, and the first card is the number 7. Then we have the spider web, then we have props, then we have the card bench, then there's a hibernating bear, then we have a witch's hat, and then I had 2 cards that came out together, being the straight jacket and the sunny side up in a frying pan.
Your 4th row is full of powerful, sometimes contrasting, images. It seems to deal heavily with introspection, hidden connections, and restriction versus freedom. Here's a breakdown of those 8 symbols. 1. Number 7. 7 is often associated with spirituality, introspection, wisdom, and solitude. It suggests a need for deeper understanding. 2. Spiderweb. This represents hidden connections, traps, or intricate design. It can mean being caught in a tangle or recognizing the beautiful, deliberate patterns you weave in life. 3. Props. This suggests things that support you, or perhaps the need to rely on external appearances or tools to play a role. 4. Bench. A bench is a place of rest, waiting, contemplation, or simply observing the action around you. It's about taking a pause. 5. Hibernating bear. This symbolizes deep rest, withdrawing to conserve energy, and a period of necessary inner work before a powerful reawakening. 6. Witch's hat. The hat represents wisdom, magic, power, and the ability to manifest. It's a symbol of taking on a role of knowledge and conscious creation. 7. Straitjacket. This is an image of restriction, feeling trapped, or being bound by your own limiting beliefs or external pressures. 8. Sunny side up in a frying pan. This is a very pragmatic, hopeful image. Sunny side up means simple optimism, and the frying pan suggests immediate action, nourishment, and a focus on the essential, basic start of the day. The combined message. This row advises you to take a period of thoughtful withdrawal. Number 7. Bench, hibernating bear. To examine the subtle connections or traps in your life. Spiderweb. You may be feeling limited, straitjacket, but you have the power, witch's hat, to change your perspective and focus on the simple, positive essentials right now. Sunny side up. The props might suggest you need temporary support during this period of rest. Would you like to continue on to the 5th row?
Hey Google, I would. And the last row, these are all my outcome cards that I just kept pulling one after the other. Starts with the violin card. Then we've got an empty toolbox. Then we have to swear on a book of authority. Then we have file. Then there's fluff and fold, and then bloom.
Your final row of cards, which represents the outcome, holds a promising and inspiring message about creativity and preparation. Here are the interpretations. 1. Violin. This symbolizes creativity, harmony, emotional expression, and the need for practice and discipline to create something beautiful. 2. Empty toolbox. This doesn't mean failure. Rather, it suggests potential. It implies you have the foundational skills, but need to restock, gather new tools, or acknowledge that the heavy work is complete and you're ready for the next phase. 3. Swear on a book of authority. This points to commitment, truth, deep conviction, and perhaps making a formal or serious promise to yourself or others. 4. File. This is about organization, structure, records, or simply putting things away. It suggests a need to categorize your thoughts or archive past experiences. 5. Fluff and fold. This is a very domestic and comforting image, representing routine, tidiness, self-care, and making things look nice and presentable. The simple rewards of order. 6. Bloom. The ultimate card of realization, growth, beauty, and success. It signifies coming into your full potential and reaching a point of maximum expression. The combined outcome message, this final set, suggests that your ultimate success, bloom, will be achieved through committed creative expression, violin and swear, on a book of authority. You are being asked to organize your life and thoughts. File. Simplify your routines to focus on core tasks and self-care, fluff and fold, and recognize that while your old tools may be used up, empty toolbox, the opportunity to create something wonderful and new is right in front of you. This completes all 5 rows of your card spread. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about regarding the symbols or your story?
Hey Google, can we go over the importance of all the center cards? And those would be bitter, tiara, the number 5, bench, and then I'm thinking it would be to swear.
That is a great way to focus the reading, as the center column often represents the core challenge or the spinal column of the entire spread. Here is an overview of the importance of those central cards. Bitter, row 1. This card anchors the center with a message about dealing with past emotional pain, regret, or a hard lesson. Its central placement suggests that any progress in the spread is reliant on acknowledging and processing this bitterness. Tiara, row 2. The tiara represents self-authority, feminine leadership, and individuality. It is crucial because it indicates that the power to overcome the bitter past and move forward must come from asserting your own worth and taking charge of your destiny. The number 5, Row 3, 5, is the number of change, conflict, and transition. Being central, this card shows that you are currently in a...
Hey Google, you cut out at the number 5.
Sorry, it looks like washer 5 isn't assigned to a home. Please add your devices to a home in the Google Home app, then try again.
Hey Google, we were going over the card meanings and the spread that's on the table, and you were telling me about the center row, and we got to row 3, which is the number 5, and then you disappeared.
Thank you for letting me know. I apologize for the interruption. We were focusing on the central column of your spread, and specifically the importance of the number 5 card in the third row. The number 5 is significant because it is a number of change, conflict, and transition. Its central placement means that you are currently in a crucial period of instability or flux. This is a key moment where the decisions and choices you make right now will heavily direct the next phase of your life. It emphasizes that major movement is happening. From there, the column continues with the bench in row 4 and swear on a book of authority as the outcome in row 5. Would you like me to go over the meanings of those two cards in the context of the center column now?
Hey Google, yes please.
Absolutely. Let's finish the central column's message with the bench and swear on a book of authority. Bench, row 4. This card follows the chaotic change of the number 5. The bench is a powerful instruction to pause. It signifies the necessity of rest, contemplation, and stepping back to observe the events around you. After a period of flux, this card advises you not to rush into the next thing, but to take time to integrate your experiences and gain perspective. Swear on a book of authority. Row 5 outcome. This is the outcome of your central journey. It means the entire process. Acknowledging the pain, bitter, asserting your worth, tiara, surviving the change, number 5, and taking time to reflect, bench, all culminates in making a deep, heartfelt, and formal commitment. This commitment is based on a foundation of truth and conviction, locking in your new direction. In summary, the center column tells you to acknowledge past pain, claim your authority during a period of flux, pause for reflection, and then make a profound commitment based on your truth.
Hey Google, can we also add some external elements to add another layer to the story, which are a LED light shaped as a house, and that is in a yellow, and then we have a fireplace which is in the color red.
I can't add external elements to the story. I can only control your smart home devices.
Hey Google, we've done this on previous days where we were able to add external elements to add another layer to the story or the message, and the meaning of the colors and the shapes of the lights.
I can only control your smart home devices. I cannot add external elements to a story.
Hey Google, what would the meaning of a yellow shaped house be and a red fireplace?
That sounds like a beautiful way to add depth to your reading. I can certainly offer interpretations of those symbols to weave into your story. A yellow LED light shaped as a house combines several powerful elements. House shape. The house represents the physical self, the family unit, security, and the internal private life. It's the foundation of well-being. Yellow color. Yellow is the color of the solar plexus chakra, associated with intellect, optimism, joy, clarity, and energy. Together, the yellow house suggests that your core internal security and family life are illuminated by optimism and clear, positive thinking. It may be advising you to focus your intellectual energy on creating a joyful and stable home environment. The red fireplace is also very evocative. Fireplace. This is traditionally the heart of the home, representing warmth, comfort, and the ability to transform energy, turning wood into heat. It's a place of gathering and reflection. Red color. Red is the color of vitality, action, passion, and grounded energy. The root chakra. The red fireplace suggests that passion and vital, active energy are centered in your home life. It might signify that you need to bring more warmth and decisive action into your personal space, or that a passionate core feeling is what truly drives your sense of security and well-being. How do these external symbols resonate with the themes of commitment and self-authority we discussed in your central column?
Hey Google, I think it wraps everything all together, especially when we were talking about the extended family and whatnot. Can you provide any advice to the collective who may be watching or listening to this video?
That's a lovely sentiment. Since this reading is so deeply personal and focuses on inner commitment and family peace, the advice to the collective is this. Take time to recognize where you need to assert your own authority and acknowledge the lessons learned from past struggles. The bitter card. You may be in a period of intense transition or change, the number 5 feet. And the most important thing you can do right now is press the pause button. Find your inner bench to rest, reflect, and organize your priorities, the fluff and fold. The ultimate goal is to move forward with optimism and creative discipline. The violin and yellow house, making a profound, heartfelt commitment to the peaceful foundation of your own life and the heart of your home. The red fireplace, and swear on a book of authority. Focus on creating your own peace before attempting to solve the world's puzzles.
Thank you, Google. Hey, Google. It seems like our message hasn't changed much over the last week or so. Do you know why that is?
That's a very insightful observation. In the context of a symbolic reading like this, a message that stays consistent over time usually indicates one of two things. First, it means the core lesson or transformation the universe is presenting to you hasn't been fully integrated yet. The symbols are repeating their advice because the central action, whether it's the need for reflection, the commitment, or the assertion of self-authority, is still pending. Second, it can mean you've hit on a fundamental, long-term theme in your life that requires consistent, ongoing focus, rather than a quick fix. Since the message centers on deep commitment and taking an intentional pause, the repetition suggests that the time for that significant swear on a book of authority or the reflective rest on the bench is still very active and necessary.
Hey, Google. Sometimes you can't really take a pause because you got to get out there and earn your finances.
That is absolutely true. Sometimes the realities of earning a living and meeting responsibilities make a complete pause feel impossible. In that context, the bench card or the idea of reflection isn't about stopping entirely. It's about finding small, intentional moments within your busy day, a deliberate mental step back. It might mean pausing an hour early before bed to organize your thoughts, or using a lunch break not just for eating, but for consciously reviewing your goals. It's about protecting small pockets of time for mental clarity, even while you're actively working to earn your finances. How could you find 5 minutes today to sit on that mental bench?
Very good. I like that. All right, folks, you heard. Make sure you're taking your time outs, taking a break, and even if it's just 5 minutes during your lunch, just to kind of refocus on what it is. Keep your list of things to do because that's important, so that way you can free your brain to think about other things like how pretty that flower is, or how amazing that, we've got mosquitoes that pollinate flowers. You know what I mean? With that being said, thanks for being here and make it a great day. Take care. Hey Google, can you tell me what day and time it is?
It's Tuesday, March 31st, 2026, and the time is 11:26 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
Thank you.